Hey everyone, Steve here today. I wanted to talk about stiff leg deadlift. This is a great deadlift variation for hitting the posterior side of your body. So I'm talking about your muscles of your hamstring, your glutes, and all the muscles that stabilize your spine. It's also really good to help sort of improve the hip hinge pattern, which is something that a lot of people struggle with. And the reason being, I think people have a hard time engaging the muscles on the back side of their body. So if I were to say something like load your hamstrings or engage your lats, they might not know what I'm talking about or even how to do that. So now I want to break down all the steps of stiff leg deadlift so you can perform it properly. So I'm just going to use a kettlebell here. You can certainly use a dumbbell or a barbell. Those are all great options. I'm just going to start from the ground up. So I'm going to position my feet about hip width apart, so that underneath my body. All right, I'll have my toes flared out just a little bit. And all we're going to do is just kind of grip the ground. So think big toe, pinky toe, and heel, all nice and stable on the floor. And what I like to do is just try to turn my toes out a little bit. I won't actually move my feet. I'll just try to just kind of create tension. Because right now, I've already engaged my glutes and my hamstrings just by that subtle movement of my feet. Okay, and from there, my knees, I want to maintain soft knees, so think vertical shins. I'm pushing my hips back. So at no point are my knees ever pushing forward. By pushing forward with my knees, I'm going to lower my quads, which is not what I want to do here. Again, I want to hit all on that back side of my body. Okay? So then the hip hinge, we're just talking about hip flexion. Right? So in order to go into hip flexion route, so you're going to just push my hips back. Okay? So now we're pushing the hips back. I'm feeling that little pull here in my hamstrings. I'm loading those hamstrings. All right, then I'm going to squeeze my glutes and come forward. All right, and while I do that, I'm going to use all the muscles of my back to stabilize my spine. So now I'm talking about the erector spinalis here, the lower back, and the lats, and traps primarily. Okay? So in order to gauge those muscles in your back, you just want to think, big chest. All right, arch your lower back, almost sticking your butt back a little bit, core is tight, and then the lats here on your side, which actually you can connect at the base of your back, top of your hips, and connect underneath your armpits. All right, so it's a huge muscle that not a lot of people know how to engage. So what I tell people is just to imagine they got a newspaper under the armpit, and it's going to just crush together. It's going to just try to squeeze your shoulders together. You're not retracting your shoulder blades, you're just trying to get tight, just setting those shoulder blades in place, maintaining that nice thoracic extension. So again, all together, a stiff leg deadlift will look something like this. And feet hip width apart, turn them out, push the hips back, big chest, arch in the lower back, and then just fold yourself forward, right? And then just squeeze the glutes, come back up, chin is packed, eyes are looking down, right there. And again, maintain those vertical shins as I go through. Okay, so that's it. My next video, I'm just going to talk about some other ways you can kind of troubleshoot that hip hinge if people are still struggling with it. But for now, just try that out and see how it works.